Hey, DeVonta, just wanted to ask you about John Metchie's sit in the SEC championship game. Have you ever seen him do something like that? And how big of a moment was that in that game?
Um, well, with Metchie blocking on the perimeter, it's kind of something that you expect, but that's just what the coach is always preaching. When it's a turnover, everybody just run to the ball, and that's what he did. He made a great play, and it was a huge momentum thing.
Mike Rodak, go ahead.
Yeah, Devontae, just as a return man yourself, how did you think Julio Billingsley did on Saturday night as a kick returner?
I think he did good. He came to practice every day. He been working at it. That's something that he's been wanting to do, and I think he did a great job.
Over to John Zener.
Yeah, hey DeVonta, I had a couple questions. One, and I'll ask the same of Mac about you, but in your opinion, what would make Mac Heisman worthy?
Um, he's the leader of the offense. He controls everything. Him and Landon, they're the leader of everything. So, that's what makes him that.
And the second one about yourself, have you felt maybe you've had so many star players around you? Have you had a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, feeling like maybe you were overshadowed a little bit in previously in your career? Obviously not this year.
I'm just here to do my job.
Thank you.
Tony Sakalas, over to you.
DeVonta, I know you're not one to talk much about the individual accolades, but just what does it mean to you to win the SEC Offensive Player of the Year? And then also, has the Heisman? Are you aware of the Heisman talk? And are you aware that you're the front runner? And what does that mean to you as well?
Well, I can't do none of that without my teammates. I can't do it without the offensive line blocking for Mac to give me the ball, for Najee running the ball, him and the running backs and setting up the pass. So I can't do none of that without them. And without Coach Sark just being the great OC he is and Coach Saban being the great coach he is. So I can't do none of that without them. So it's not just me, it's them.
Stephen Smith, you're up.
DeVonta, Coach Saban talked about it, how much he loves this team after the SEC championship game. What makes you guys such a close, tight-knit unit for your coach to say, man, I really love this team?
I think it's just with everything that we've been through with COVID going on, just everybody being around each other a lot more than we probably want to. So it's just making us come more of a family and just everybody just been with each other so much that everybody's on everybody about being disciplined and keeping your personal bubble close.
Edwin Stanton, over to you.
Hey, DeVonta, just want to ask about the loss of Landon Dickerson and how big of an impact that is. And have you talked to him, and what was that conversation like?
It's a big loss just with one of the leaders on the team, leader on the offense, the one who gets the front and moving, gets everything going. So it's a big loss. And it was tough when it happened, but everybody came out there and told him that they love him, that we're going to do this for him. And that's what we're going to do.
Jeff Spiegel, go ahead.
DeVonta, what was it like to sit at home and watch the playoff last year and watch other teams in the playoff?
It didn't feel good just knowing that we kind of stopped ourselves from being in the playoffs. Just knowing that we could have been there, it wasn't a good feeling.
Michael Costagrande, go ahead.
Yeah, does it get frustrating at all for you to have to answer questions about the Heisman Trophy?
Most definitely.
What's annoying about it, or what bothers you?
Just that I'm only guaranteed one more game, and I'm more focused on that than an award.
Chris Heidel, you're up.
Hi, DeVonta. Thanks for taking my question. Talk about playing against Notre Dame. What was it like playing against a major school that you probably grew up watching on TV and, the history and all that stuff? What was it like playing them? I know it's not in Los Angeles, but in Texas.
The next game is the most important game. So it's most definitely an important game. Just it's a playoff game. It's going to be against a great team. So you have to keep doing what we're doing, go to practice, put the work in, and just see what happens.
Over to Anthony Totri.
DeVonta, what kind of challenges does Notre Dame present for you guys?
They throw a lot of different looks out there. Their defense is physical. They're physical up front. They run to the ball. Everybody gets to the ball, and they're just a great team.
Unless there are any others, we'll finish up with Charlie Potter.
Yeah, DeVonta, just what did it mean for you to be named a captain for the second year in a row, to get that honor from your teammates for 2 years in a row?
It meant a lot just knowing that my teammates think that doing things the right way to vote me as a captain is just a blessing.
And final question for DeVonta, we'll go back over to Michael Casagrande.
I just wonder, could you see Metchie peeling back on that play where he made that hit? Could you see it coming from before it happened?
I seen Metchie coming. I didn't think he was going to hit him like that, but I seen him coming.
All right. Thank you, DeVonta. We'll be bringing up the next player momentarily. Off with Stephen Smith.
Hey, Mac, I mean, I know he's on defense, but he came in the same freshman class as you did. What has Christopher Allen meant to this team in terms of his leadership and his play, especially being healthy now?
Yeah, I mean, Chris is a guy who came in with our class, like you said, and I love Chris, man. Everyone loves Chris. He has a great personality. I mean, he's hilarious. He brings a lot of energy. He's a big, strong guy. And something I noticed like halfway through the season or something, like he's way up there in production points for doing his job on defense. So Chris is a guy that people don't even really talk about as much as they probably should. And he's a great leader on our team because he just lines up and does what he's supposed to do. And he has fun and celebrates with his teammates like every good player on our team does.
John Zener with the next question.
Hey, Mac, I had two questions. One, I asked DeVonta to make a case for why you deserve the Heisman. Why in your mind would DeVonta deserve it, be worthy of it?
Yeah, I mean, everyone that's up for all the awards and things like that, it's just a blessing to be a part of that. And obviously, Smitty, he's the most electric player in college football. He means the most to us here at Alabama football. I mean, you can watch the games and see that, what type of person he is, how he plays. I've been really excited to just be able to give him the ball this year. I mean, he came back this year to try and win a national championship and improve his draft stuff. And I feel like he's done exactly that because he just, got open and made explosive plays. And it's just a blessing to play behind him and with him. And obviously our offensive line, just to start that all off, I'd say Smitty would say the same thing, is they don't get enough credit for allowing all of us to have success.
And the second, is it cooler or more nerve-wracking when you're in competition with a teammate for an award, such a big award like that? Is it cooler or more stressful?
I don't know. Like, that's kind of a weird question. I mean, we don't really even think about awards. Like, you can't sit there and be like, oh, we want this, we want that. I mean, me and Smitty's main goals, I mean, we literally talked about it before, is just to come in and be leaders and win a national championship. So that stuff always takes care of itself. And the production is there from, I mean, there's a handful of guys on our team that should be in conversation for a lot of different awards, and all that stuff is great, but we got to keep our eye on the main prize. And I'm sure Smitty would say the same thing.
We're going to go over to Cecil for the next question.
Mac, hey, this is Cecil Hurt. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Great. This is a little bit not quite to Notre Dame yet, but how are you going to celebrate Christmas, and how cautious are you guys over this little mini break that you've got?
Yeah, I mean, we're really thankful that Coach Saban's kind of allowing us to go home. I think obviously that's a little bit of a risk, but at the same time, he trusts us with, listening to what he has to say and what, our trainers and doctors have told us. We've been very well educated about the virus, and we understand, the main ways that we can get it. So we just have to be really safe, and our families understand that too. And it's just a big shout out to all the families that have done a good job this year and tried to protect their bubble, and coming to the games. And I just use my family as a great example of just wearing their masks all the time and coming to the games and still supporting us. But they're really watching what they do. So that's a big part of it.
All right. Thank you, Cecil. Over to Michael Casagrande.
Hey, Mac, two quick ones. Just first, what was your view of the hit that Metchie landed after that interception on Saturday?
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, yeah, I threw the ball I got my feet all whacked up, so I was late. And then, everyone wants to blame it on Miller and stuff like that, but that's not true. If you watch the tape, I threw it behind him. So Trey Dean, the safety, picked it off. And then it just goes to show, Metchie, I don't know if he was angry or what, but I just love how he came in there and made a play, and he created a turnover off a turnover. It's kind of like a weird sequence of events, and we ended up scoring. But it just goes to show that Metchie, he's an effort guy, and even when he doesn't get the ball, he's going to try and make plays like that, and people don't even realize the small things. And we've done that several times this year. I mean, like there's Najee, on an interception where he ran back and tackled a guy, or even like Jace McClellan when he went back in Arkansas and tackled a guy. So I mean, with effort plays like that, just shows what type of players we have on our team.
And second, it's what all the questions you guys are getting about Heisman stuff. Is there a more creative way anyone's asked you, or is there a frustration to hearing the questions all the time about Heisman?
I mean, not really. I mean, it's just, like I said, any player in the country that's up for any awards, it's just a blessing. And I think every player would say the same thing, that they're all we're trying to fight for a national championship, and that's really what matters. And all the other stuff will take care of itself. I feel like like I said, we have great players on our team, have put themselves in a great position for all the awards and stuff, but you really can't focus on that.
Chris Heidel with the next question.
Hey, Matt, thanks for taking my my question. How do you zone out all the talk during the week saying you're the Heisman Trophy front runner? How do you get yourself focused on the game?
Yeah, I mean, it just goes back to what we've talked about throughout the year. I mean, there's a lot of distractions with COVID and the season and disruptions, and Coach Saban has talked about that all year long. So just listening to him and focusing what you're supposed to focus on, all that really matters is that you try and do your job each play. Some plays you won't be able to do your job as well as you would want. And then you just go back and learn from those errors that you made. But it all comes back to just focusing on what you can control.
Anthony Totri, go ahead.
Hey, Mac, is there anything that you've seen in film or watching any of these games of Notre Dame that kind of separates their defense?
Yeah, I mean, we've started on Notre Dame a little bit, but, in watching them, I know they have a really old defense. I think there's 9 seniors on the starting defense. Obviously, they have great players from top to bottom, a great defensive coordinator. They play really sound football. They rush to the ball, and they're really good on third down. That's the other thing that's really impressed me. On third down, they kind of change things up a little bit and give you some more exotic looks. And I think they're like 5th in the country on third down. And obviously, they're top defense in the country. And those guys play with class, and they play really hard. And I'm really looking forward to going against them, and I hope it will be a really good game.
Charlie Potter, you're up.
Yeah, Mac, I know you just were asked about Chris Allen, but how much does Will Anderson progress over the course of the season, and what kind of terror is he in practice?
Yeah, I like calling him the Terminator because he's always by the ball, just destroying whoever has the ball. So he's done a great job all year. I saw it early on. He can pass rush really well. He can run stop really well. So he just does his job. And for a freshman to do that and come in and just work his tail off, it's a lot of respect to a guy like that. I mean, he's a quiet guy that just puts his head down and goes to work, and he brings a lot of energy. When he makes plays, you can see him celebrating. And obviously the defensive guys love him. The offensive guys love him. So he's definitely a great addition to our team this year. And I'm just looking forward to watching him get even better as time goes on.
Edwin Stanton with the next question.
Hey, Mac. Can you just tell me a little bit about what it was like seeing Landon go down in the SEC championship game, and how difficult was that watching, a really close teammate out for the season? And how's that, affect y'all going forward?
Yeah, I mean, that hurt really bad, honestly. Like, Landon is one of my best friends. And, if Landon's going to stay on the ground, then something's wrong because, I mean, he tried to get up, honestly, but I think our trainers were like, just stay down, stay down. So it just goes to show, like, that guy will put his, like whole life on the line for Alabama football. And, if he could, he'd play as soon as he can for us because he just wants to be back. But, obviously the injuries are the injuries. It sucked to see that, but you saw what, just in that little moment there with our whole team kind of going out and just saying, we're with you, man, prayers up. It's definitely devastating to lose him, but at the same time, he brought a whole nother energy to our offense, and we just kind of have to carry that on. And I'm sure right when Landon comes back, he's going to be leading just the same way he was. And obviously it's a big loss, but we just have to pick up for Landon and try and bring back, a national championship for him.
I can also ask you one more thing. What's it like being a team captain? Just tell me about that honor.
Yeah, it's definitely a great honor to be up there with those guys, some of the greatest Alabama football players. Just being a freshman and looking up to some of the guys that received that honor early on, you sit there and you just dream of being in that position. And obviously, I think all of us kind of set goals to be in that spot. But at the same time, it just goes back to our team and just how great of a team we have. To be voted up there by your teammates is a big deal. But, I mean, everyone bought in all year long to what the leaders on our team were saying, with COVID and all that stuff and all the leadership meetings we had. So I was just really blessed to be named, part of that.
We have time for just a few more. Jeff Spiegel, go ahead.
Mac, we've heard several coaches take on this, but as a player, how did you feel when you saw Ohio State in the top 4, having only played 6 games? And does that give them an unfair advantage in the playoff, do you think?
No, I mean, I can't really answer that for you. I mean, Ohio State has a great team. They're undefeated, and they played well all year long. So I don't make those choices. And I think the teams that are in the playoff are great teams, and we're just looking forward to seeing, 2 great games and hopefully just us moving on and focusing on Notre Dame.
Tony Sakalas, over to you.
Mac, at the beginning of the season, you said that, this team has the chance to be the best team ever if they were able to navigate a all SEC schedule. Do you feel like this team is, if it gets its business carried out the next 2 games, can be the best team ever?
Yeah, I mean, we got 1 game to focus on, and we've made, great progress throughout the year. But, I mean, if you look back on it, we're right where we want to be, and we can't overlook the opportunity that we have, and that's playing against a really good football team in Notre Dame, one of the greatest, college football programs of all time. So it's just great, 2 great programs going against each other, and that's all we can really focus on.
And this will be the final question with Mike Rodak.
Yeah, Matt, can you ever remember a tight end like Jaleel returning kicks like he's doing now? And just what about him makes him a good kick returner and a good tight end?
Yeah, I love Jaleel. He works hard. I mean, at first, he struggled a little bit with not playing and stuff, but he just kept working really hard, and we found roles for him in our offense and special teams. But I think it just goes to show that he's just a great talent, and he's learned from his mistakes and, learned the playbook really well, and I can trust him. Now it's like, boom, he knows where to line up, knows exactly what he's going to do, and he's out there just playing football and having fun. So I'm glad that Jaleel is where he is right now, and he's just going to keep getting better and working really hard.
All right. Thank you, Mac.
All right. Thank you, guys.
First question to Omar Urena.
Hi, Patrick. How difficult is going to be for you guys try to stop the 3 Notre Dame's 3 tight ends offense? How do you plan to stop that?
We plan on stopping it by going through film study, seeing what they like to do tendency-wise, and, just going through practice and preparing each week for the game.
John Zener, you're up.
Hi, Patrick. If you had to make a case individually for both for Mac Jones to win the Heisman and then DeVonta Smith to win the Heisman, what would you say about each of those guys individually?
I believe they both deserve it. Their work ethic, is unbelievable. They worked hard this offseason, and it showed this season. So they both deserve everything they've been nominated for. So,
and I'll follow that up. What does it say about them as teammates? Because they don't seem to care much about it. They seem to be focused on the team. Is that your take?
Yeah, that goes to show you like their leadership on the team. They're about team first, and they worry about the individual awards later. That goes to show you how much they care about the team.
Charlie Potter, over to you.
Hey, Patrick, just want to ask you about Will Anderson. How have you seen him come along this season, and what kind of impact has he made in the last few games?
He made a tremendous impact for him being a freshman, stepping in big-time games, and, making plays like that. That goes to show you that the future is bright for him. He's still raw, even though that sounds crazy right now. But you know, he's still going through his game. But right now, you know, he's a beast right now.
Over to Anthony Totri.
Hey, Patrick, what kind of challenges come with facing a quarterback like Ian Book, who's played so many years in the league?
You know, with experienced quarterbacks like that, you know, he's a veteran, so he knows what to expect in games like this. So it's our opportunity to stop him from doing what he does best on offense.
Edwin Stanton, you're up.
Hey, Patrick. After the SEC championship game, Nick said that y'all were in a dogfight, and that's kind of what y'all needed at this point in the season. Y'all feel like y'all did need that, and how do y'all feel about moving forward, facing teams that are going to be elite teams that are going to challenge y'all?
Yeah. Well, I believe we needed a game like that. That shows, you know, games like that, it builds character, and for the team, it, you know, makes us better going on forward, knowing what we had to do to eliminate those dogfight matchups. But you know, that's the type of game we knew what we expected going into the game. So I believe what he was saying is that we needed those type of games to get prepared for these games coming up.
Next question, over to Cecil.
Patrick, hey, this is Cecil Hurt. First of all, congratulations on being the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. And second, just back to the Florida game for a moment on the long touchdown. It looked like you had it defended and then suddenly didn't. What happened on that play?
I was covering. I was in perfect coverage. I just got to play the ball. That's all I got to say about it.
Thanks.
Thank you, Cecil. Over to Mike Rodak.
Yeah, Pat, have you ever had to cover Jaleel Billingsley in practice at all? And what skills does he have that translated to him being able to return kicks as he did on Saturday night?
Yeah, Jaleel, he's a special player. He's just not no ordinary tight end. You know, he's a tight end that's capable of doing many things, you know, out in the perimeter. He got tremendous catch radius, and he's also fast for a tight end. So he brings many traits to the table.
Next question to Michael Casagrande.
Yeah, Patrick, just wondering from your perspective on the sideline or watching the tape, what was your thoughts on Metchie's hit on the interception and you know, the form? You know, where would you rate it?
I ain't gonna lie. I told him, like, you need to come to defense, play safety or something after that hit. I didn't know he had that in him, but it was a good hit though. So
over to Jeff Spiegel.
Hi, Patrick. Can you talk about what you and the guys felt when you were watching the playoff at home last year?
We felt disappointed knowing that our season got cut short. We felt like we had the opportunity to be in there, and unfortunately we didn't. And it gave us extra motivation going on into this season. So we kept our heads down and just kept working to get to this point, you know. We'll
go back over to Charlie Potter.
Yeah, Patrick, just want to ask you about your Christmas plans. I know Coach Saban said he's going to let you guys go home. Just, you know, how much and how weary are you guys of paying attention to the rules, and what do you think of him letting you guys go home for Christmas?
He told us about the safety protocols, you know, just being around family, enjoying Christmas with them. And, you know, it's a 3-day quick little break. Then we're going to be back up here Saturday. So it's just a time to spend with family, really, on Christmas.
And we'll finish up with Omar.
Patrick, quite a while ago, Alabama had Adrian Lamonte, a punter from Mexico. What would be your message for Hispanic or Mexican kids who are dreaming to be recruited by Alabama?
I'll just say, you know, keep working. You never know when your time will come. You know, people are always on the lookout, no matter what you do. And, you know, if you keep working, you know, your dreams will come true.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, everyone.